Today is Leah Sharibu's 18th birthday. Leah should be celebrating it with her friends, with her family. She should be celebrating the completion of her education. Instead, for over 3 years, Leah has been held captive by ISWAP, the Islamic State West Africa province. It's a breakaway faction of the terrorist group Boko Haram. During that time, she's been subjected to shocking, appalling treatment. Leah was the sole Christian among the 110 girls abducted from their school in Dapchi in Yobe State on the 19th of February 2018. While the government negotiated the return on March the 21st of 2018 of the other girls who survived this ordeal, Leah Sharibu remained in captivity, and ISWAP has declared her a slave for life due to her refusal to convert, which they made a precondition for her release. In the face of a deadly terrorist faction, Leah maintained her Christian faith and has experienced unimaginable, harrowing treatment and trials. Her strong faith should serve as an inspiration to us all. But this is also about a fundamental human right. Article 18 of the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights proclaims that everyone has the right to believe, the right not to believe, or the right to change their belief. During every single day of her captivity, Leah's right to believe has been denied, and the authorities have done precious little to proclaim this fundamental right. As we think about Leah, her family are drawing comfort from the words of Psalm 20. Drawing inspiration from its words, they trust that God will comfort and answer Leah in her distress, that he'll send help from his sanctuary, that he will honor her faith and will return her to her family, who are so desperate to have her with them again. As they call for Leah's deliverance from captivity, we must never forget all the others held captive by terrorist factions, including assailants with Fulani ethnicity. They include Alice Ngada, Grace Tuku, and the 112 remaining Chibok girls who have now been enslaved for 7 years. We also remember hundreds of girls and young women in Nigeria's Sharia states who have been abducted, forcibly converted, and forced to marry men who are often older than their own parents. May they be given the fortitude to withstand the cruelty that they're currently enduring, and may efforts be redoubled to secure their release. Millions of us have not forgotten them. We'll not choose to look the other way, and we will remain vocal on their behalf. But may there also be justice. The Nigerian constitution states that, and I quote, "The primary purpose of government is the security and welfare of the people, and it recognizes equal rights for all citizens, the sanctity of human life, and human dignity." Additionally, Nigeria's Child Rights Act stipulates a fine of around £1,800, a 5-year prison sentence, or both, for anyone involved in child betrothal and child marriage, and a 10-year prison sentence for anyone abducting a child from lawful custody, and a maximum life term for carnal knowledge of a child. The Nigerian government has a statutory duty, but also an obligation born out of common humanity to its own people, particularly to the most vulnerable, and it must honour its duties to its nation before it's too late. In its 2020 report on Nigeria, the All-Party Parliamentary Group on International Freedom of Religion or Belief at Westminster, of which I'm Vice Chair, found that this ideology inspires multiple groups, including Boko Haram and ISWAP, and has also been adopted by some Fulani herders, and is the underlying reason why these abductions and these atrocities have occurred. Consequently, Nigeria's religious diversity, which ought to be a source of strength has arguably become its greatest weakness. The continued targeting of Christians and symbols of Christian identity, such as churches, is simply unacceptable, particularly in a Commonwealth country. This violent extremism is a threat not just to the Christians whom it targets directly, but also to all civilians who are adversely affected by the violence. The UK, remember, is one of Nigeria's major funders through sources of overseas aid and development money. As it considers new trading arrangements in the post-Brexit era, the United Kingdom government must encourage the Nigerian government to prioritise the release of all who are held captive by extremists and to address every source of insecurity in a comprehensive and unbiased manner, with perpetrators being held to account and being brought to justice. And we must use our aid programs, our trading opportunities, our friendships, and the wonderful Nigerian diaspora in the United Kingdom to achieve all of those targets. The UK must also ensure that humanitarian assistance for the displaced not only reaches intended recipients in the northeast, but is also extended to communities displaced in religion-related violence in central Nigeria and elsewhere. The unremitting news of gruesome violence committed with seeming impunity will continue to damage the Nigerian national psyche, but also its reputation worldwide, even casting doubt on the ability of that great country to survive. If the Nigerian state founders, it will be to the detriment of the people, to the region, and the continent. To prevent this, the Nigerian government must definitively tackle aggressive jihadist extremism. The Nigerian government must fulfill its promise made in 2015 that it would defeat Boko Haram, and President Buhari must fulfill his promise to Leah's mother, Rebecca Sharibu, whom I've met, that he would rescue Leah. Leah's story symbolizes the existential challenge which Nigeria faces. On this, her 18th birthday, and for however long it may take, millions around the world will be holding Leah in our hearts, and we will not forget her.